The PS5 Pro. Man, I got nothing. So of course you guys obviously may know, just last week we got the announcement of the PS5 Pro, and everyone is very disappointed, including me. Now I was on holiday during this period, hence of course I didn't make a video closer to the time, but of course now that I'm back I can finally make a more in-depth view and give my opinion on this console. When I first saw the videos I actually initially thought this was actually some kind of like fake leak due to how weird the pictures looked and the video, but I was like, holy shit, PlayStation actually announced it on their YouTube channel, and I jumped over there quickly just to see it looks exactly the same, just with no disc drive. And of course we will be talking about the price later on, so make sure you guys will stay tuned for that. Now when you compare the regular PS5 Pro to the regular PS5, it looks pretty much the same. All they've really done is just add the lines on it. Like, I really can't see any other difference besides that. Sony also said that they were finally going to be supporting 8K gaming. I mean, that was just kind of a lie considering they could have just did that before in the 2020, but of course they just kind of fumbled that. And they of course said that now they are finally doing more backwards compatibility, which is very rich coming from Sony, because literally Microsoft has been doing this for over a full fucking decade, and of course with Xbox you can play Xbox 360 games and all the some original Xbox games on your Series X. I mean, these guys have been doing that for a way ahead, and usually sometimes I say that Microsoft is kind of the weaker part in general and Sony's always really on top, but Sony is really fumbling and letting Microsoft do all their dirty work, which is wild. Compatibility was one of my first main issues with the PS5 back in 2020. I mean, even if you're giving us this incredible, super powerful hardware, we should be able to play any kind of PlayStation game from any type of generation like as we please, but they still haven't used this. They've had to wait till PS5 Pro to actually finally do something just like it, and yeah, I mean, I don't know why wait that long when Xbox has been doing it for this long. Now considering this being a more pro console, meaning it's a lot more powerful apparently, I really don't see the difference. I mean, Spider-Man 2 looks exactly the same as it does on the regular PS5, and this also brings me to another issue, of course, overheating. Of course we all know the iconic red ring of death in the Xbox 360, and if you had one then you are pretty much fucked. And considering how powerful the PS5 Pro is supposed to be, I mean, I'm thinking that this could happen very much with these consoles, especially the price that they're charging for. But all in all, I just don't know how the hell the fans are going to be able to actually cope with this. The fans are just going to absolutely overheat and pulverize due to how crazy powerful this could be. And did we ever need like a more powerful PS5? I mean, the PS5 alone has more power than all of the PS2s, PS3s, PS4s combined. And of course the PS1. It's more powerful than the Nintendo Switch, it's more powerful than some of the Xboxes. Like, did we really need a PS5 Pro? I do understand how we had a PS4 Pro, of course, because the PS4 wasn't in that kind of generation at the time and the games were looking kind of sloppy at that time, come around 2017. So I understand why the PS4 Pro was introduced, and obviously that is a much more definitive console in my opinion. And man, I gotta talk about the stand, because this is just completely ridiculous. Having the stand as an extra when we literally had the PS5 come with its own stand in the box. Like, I think PS5 are just slowly becoming Apple and just not giving us any more accessories for their products. Like, this is like, they're starting to become the next iPhone, bro. I'm telling you right now. As far as the stand goes, I still prefer the regular plastic one that we came with in the regular PS5. I think it looks a lot more sturdy in comparison to this flying saucer disc metal thing that we're getting. I mean, especially just paying for that. We don't even know what kind of metal this could be made out of. This could just be the most flimsiest shit on the planet. But of course, that's something that we need to find out once it releases. And Sony really like to kind of push the word power alongside us, along with a PS5 console, and saying it's going to be extremely powerful and it's going to be able to take off in your sleep. Like, what the fuck? And they also announced, of course, 2 terabytes of storage, which I can't complain about. I mean, storage is definitely something that was needed more on the regular PS5, especially I think it was only coming in with like 500 gigabytes, which is certainly not enough if you're playing a lot of big games. Like if you've got Call of Duty installed, Red Dead installed, Grand Theft Auto 5, if you're playing those types of games, you need more storage. So that's the only wise decision they made here. Graphic wise, I still see no difference, especially with everything that has happened with the PS5 and how it's improved over its games. As someone who's owned the PS5 for like 2021, I can definitely say that you really don't need to upgrade to the PS5 Pro, because I can guarantee you that the PS5 looks just as clean as it would if you had bought a PS5 Pro. If they couldn't use 8K back then, back in 2020 when the PS5 released, then why the hell would they end up trying to use it now? It just makes no sense, especially when the games pretty much didn't need it and looked pretty much crispy clear as could be. Some great examples are God of War, Days Gone, Spider-Man 2, and other types of games that actually look really good. And by removing the disc drive makes me believe that PS5 probably will eventually stop getting physical releases. I don't know about Xbox because of course they have still equipped with the disc drive, but of course the Series S does have no disc drive, which is also very different. I guess they are trying to go in for the digital age nowadays, of course, because we're moving towards a digital age. But I still would have preferred a disc drive attached to this console. You can't just make it as if, oh yeah, we can't give you a disc drive, but we'll give you like $50 for one next to it. So, I mean, you just kind of lose respect for people, especially companies that are trying to make more money and milk more people. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, give people what they want, or you won't get any good customers. It's really simple as that. And now this brings us to one of the little pet peeves that everyone has with this, is of course the price tag.
In there right now or I'm gonna lose it!
Remember when I said Apple and Sony are getting very much identically the same nowadays? Yeah, I wasn't joking. I just never understood when I finally found out the price of the PS5 Pro that it was going to be $700. I mean, come on to hell, man. That is pushing on pre-built PC standards, man. Like, I don't think anyone would rather even go for a PS5 Pro if they knew it was going to be the same price as a PC. Now, it is slightly cheaper in the UK, but it doesn't defeat the purpose that is pretty much pushing on PC standards. You could literally just max out a PC for that kind of money, or just build out your own kind of version of your own very customized PC, instead of just putting a $700 down for a PlayStation, which is absolutely wild. In all honesty, I have no idea how the hell they're going to be able to actually sell this thing, considering it's going to cost this much. Of course, it probably will go out to a lot of the reviewers on YouTube asking to review this, of course, because that is their job. But I genuinely don't know. For the average person, this is probably just not going to sell as well as I think they hoped it would. And especially when you add on the disc drive and the stand, that's almost clocking in around $800 to $900 fucking dollars, which is wild, bro. Like that, you may as well just go all out and just buy a PC at the end of the day. Like there's no point in this console even existing at all. It's even worse considering that the base PS5 model goes around for around $500 and the slims around that as well. So it doesn't really make much sense why they would go up to $700. Why not just keep it around $600 or maybe just a little bit over $500? I think that would be much more reasonable, and of course a lot of people would be able to choose which option they'd like for the PS5 model. In other words, this console really doesn't need to exist, especially if you've got the regular base PS5 that does perfectly fine, it functions well, and you're also going to have that bit of price point to it as well, which isn't too shabby and will of course not break the bank. So if you guys take anything from this video, buy a PS5, buy a PS5 Slim, because you will definitely thank yourself later. And of course, I know PS5 Pro isn't out yet. I mean, we could have just been proven wrong. I highly doubt it though. I mean, this console is not shaping up to be probably one of the worst in history based on how our audience is actually thinking about it. Especially when you've got the same exact features of the regular PS5, there really isn't no much point buying this console. And if you are planning on buying some kind of console that is the $800, please just buy a PC. But anyway guys, let me know what you guys think of the PS5 Pro down below. I hope it's probably going to be only 90% negative, but let me know if you're actually planning on picking up this console. I highly doubt it. Or you're just going to go ahead and just jump into PC gaming. Me myself, I've always been a console guy. I've never really cared about PC that much, but I may be looking trying to get into PC sometime this year, sometime later next year. But yeah, I mean, it's just obviously the price of this kind of stuff. It's going to be, I think everything comes down to having a good bang for your buck and choosing the right thing at the end of the day. You don't want to choose something that's just not going to function properly and something that you're actually getting value for money. So honestly, let me know what you guys think of the PS5 Pro down below. What do you think they could improve, honestly? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.